In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to get 1000 FPS in Chapter 6 Fortnite. I'm going to be showing you guys the best Windows settings, the best NVIDIA settings, and the best in-game Fortnite settings, along with everything else that you need to know and need to do to maintain good FPS in Chapter 6 Fortnite. With Epic recently announcing duos, make sure you send this video to your teammates so you guys can have the best year of competitive Fortnite in 2026. Starting off with the Windows settings, all you guys want to do is go down here and type in settings. First, you want to start off in system. Once you're in system, you want to go to display, and once you're in display, scroll down to advanced display. Make sure that the refresh rate of your monitor is the highest it could possibly go. If you're getting 240 FPS in Fortnite but only have a 60Hz monitor, you are only seeing 60 of those frames. No matter how high your FPS is, you are only seeing as many hertz as you have. So that's why you want to make sure it is on the highest setting it possibly can be. Once you do that, you want to go back to display. Scroll down and right below advanced display, click on graphics. Once you're in graphics, you want to make sure that optimizations for windowed games is turned off. Fortnite does its own optimizations, and this setting only hurts your FPS and your input delay. Next, you want to click where it says advanced graphics settings and make sure that hardware accelerated GPU scheduling is turned on. This makes sure you are getting the most out of your graphics card to give you the most FPS. Even though Fortnite is a CPU reliant game and not a GPU reliant game, getting the most out of your graphics card definitely does not hurt. It's going to tell you that you need to restart. Do not do that yet. We will do that at the end. Next, you're going to want to go down to add a desktop app. It's going to put you in your C drive. You're going to want to go to program files. Once in program files, you're going to want to go to Epic Games, then Fortnite game, then binaries, Win64, and once you're in Win64, it's going to be the first Fortnite client -Win64 shipping. Once you've clicked on it, press add. Once you've added it, scroll down and find it, and for GPU preference, you want it on high performance. Once you've done that, you can go back to system. Next, we want to go to notifications. For notifications, make sure every single one of these and the bar is turned off. Anything that pops up on our screen while we are playing is only going to hurt our FPS. Make sure do not disturb is turned off. Make sure all of these are turned off. Then click on focus and make sure everything is turned off. Once you've done that, you can go back to system. Next, we want to go to power. You're going to want to click screen, sleep, and hibernate timeouts and make sure both of them are on never. Then for energy saver, you want to make sure it's off. Once we've done that, we're going to press the Windows key and type in power space plan. Once we're in power plan, we're going to get the ultimate performance power plan. This power plan gave me the most FPS out of any power plan I've used. You're only going to follow this step if you have a mid to high end PC. What we want to do is press the Windows key and type in CMD and run it as administrator. Once in there, you want to copy and paste what I put in the description and press enter. Once you've done that, you can close out of it and go back to the power plans. You might have to close out of power options and reopen it, but once you do, you should see the ultimate performance power plan. Once you see it, you're going to want to select it. Once you select it, you're going to want to press change plan settings, then change advanced power settings. You want to make sure your settings look exactly like mine. Press hard disk, turn off hard disk after, make sure it's on never. We can skip over desktop background settings and go straight to sleep. Sleep after, never, allow wake timers disabled. Any wake timers and timers in general hurt your FPS and your input delay. Then PCI Express, link state power management, make sure it is off. Anything power management or energy efficient, we want to make sure that it is off. Then processor power management, minimum processor state 100%, maximum 100%. It should automatically change those. If you guys have a good processor, a CPU, they're all the same thing. This will not hurt it having a minimum 100%. Any top line processor will easily be able to withhold this. I've had mine on a minimum of 100% for a while now, and if we go look at my CPU utilization, it's on 0% and it is at 32 degrees Fahrenheit. Changing this setting is not going to hurt it. Once you guys have done that, you can close out of power options and power plan. Then we want to go back to system. Next, you guys are going to want to go to storage. You guys are going to want to turn off storage sense. All it does is hurt your FPS and hurt your input delay. Once you've done that, we're going to want to go to Bluetooth and devices. Click on mouse, additional mouse settings, pointer options, and make sure enhanced pointer precision is turned off. This is mouse acceleration. Mouse acceleration is bad because as you move your mouse, it speeds up even if you are not going as fast. Compared to with it off, it stays the same speed no matter how you move it. And when we are trying to aim, we do not want mouse acceleration. Once you're done with that, you can close out of it. Next, you're going to want to go to apps. Once you're there, go to startup. Once in startup, you guys want to turn off everything that you are not using as soon as you turn on your PC. Having apps running in the background while you are playing kills your FPS. Since Fortnite is a CPU reliant game, your CPU is targeting the other background applications and not giving it all to Fortnite. Once you've turned off everything you do not need, go to gaming. Once in gaming, go to game bar. Please make sure that game bar is turned off. Game bar is the worst thing Windows has ever added. My hatred for game bar runs exponentially more than I can talk about in this video, but please make sure you have it turned off. Once you've done that, go back to gaming. Then go to captures and make sure all of this is turned off. If there is a setting that does not let you turn it off, make sure that you turn it on the lowest setting. Then go back to gaming and go to game mode. Game mode is tricky. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You guys are gonna have to try it out and see what feels best for you. Right now I have it on, but before I was a big stickler on having it off. Once you guys have done that, you can close out of it. Now that we have finished our Windows settings, I'm gonna answer some of the questions you guys have asked me in the past. Should I turn off background apps? Short answer, yes. Background apps are running even when you're not using them, and all they do is slow down your PC. If you guys want to turn off background apps, all you guys have to do is go to your settings, and once you're in settings, go to apps, then installed apps. Now this is the frustrating part. Once you see an app that you recognize that you know runs in the background that you do not want, press the 3 dots next to it. Then go to advanced options, and where it says background app permissions, make sure it's on never. I know this is going to be a frustrating process, but it'll be worth it in the long run because applications running in the background take up your memory and your CPU usage, and we need all of that to get the most FPS in chapter 6. The next question I'm always asked is, should I turn off Windows animations? 100%. Windows has a bunch of animations that you wouldn't even realize are there, but they eat up your performance. To turn them off, go to the search bar and look up performance. Then it's going to be adjust the appearance and performance of Windows. For the best possible FPS, turn it to adjust for best performance. That setting alone could give you upwards of 50 to 75 more FPS. Next question I'm asked, is game mode good or bad? Like I said earlier, game mode is hit or miss. On some PCs it helps, on others it actually makes the games lag. If you want to try it out for yourself, go to the settings, go to gaming, then game mode. Try it with it on and try it with it off and see which one has better FPS. Next question, should I turn off Windows Defender? I've seen a lot of people making FPS videos and telling you to turn off Windows Defender, it will get you more FPS, but that is something I have never done. Windows Defender protects your PC, but you can add Fortnite and its folders to the exceptions list. That makes sure Windows Defender cannot scan them while you're playing. That way you can stay protected and get more FPS. The last question I'm always asked about my Windows settings is, can my antivirus software be lowering my FPS? The answer is sometimes. Some antivirus apps can slow your PC down, but it's never a big enough difference where I would risk turning it off. And antivirus on a PC is more important than the 5 to 10 FPS that you would be gaining by turning it off. Before we move on to the next settings, check and see if you guys are subscribed, because 90% of the people who watch my videos are not currently subscribed. So if you're a part of that 90%, please subscribe. It instantly supports me and I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's go on to the NVIDIA settings. Once you're back on your desktop, right click and go to show more options. If you guys are on Windows 10, you will not see the show more options button, but it's okay because it leads us to the same place. Then you're going to want to go to NVIDIA control panel. Once you're in control panel, go to adjust image settings with preview. Make sure you select use the advanced 3D image settings. Once you've done that, press take me there. Once you are here, you want to make sure that the first 6 settings are all off. Just to run through it a little bit, all of these settings are just sparkles and effects in the game that all they do is hurt our FPS. We want to make sure that they are all off on the NVIDIA side so they cannot get through to the Fortnite side when we turn that setting off later. Once you've done that, scroll down to background application max frame rate, make sure that it is off. Then CUDA GPUs, make sure it's on all. CUDA fallback policy, make sure it's on driver default. DSR factors, make sure it's on off. Low latency mode, please make sure it is on ultra. Later in the Fortnite settings, when we turn our low latency mode to on plus boost, it'll only work if you have it matched with NVIDIA settings to make sure that it's on ultra. Max frame rate, we want it off. This is the most important setting in here. Monitor technology, make sure that it is on fixed refresh. The other setting, G-Sync, is not good whatsoever. G-Sync, also known as VSync in the Fortnite settings, doesn't keep your monitor at a constant refresh rate. So what FPS you are getting in game is your monitor's refresh rate capped at what the max is. So if I have a 240 Hz monitor and I am in Fortnite in a game and my game stutters and goes down to 60 FPS, my monitor will go down to 60 Hz, and we do not want that. So the constant fluctuation of your refresh rate with your FPS will make it impossible to play. Multi-frame sampled AA, you want that off. OpenGL GDI compatibility, you want it on auto. auto. OpenGL rendering GPU, you want it on your only GPU, hopefully, unless you guys have two. Make sure it's on the better one if you do, but if not, put it on your only graphics card. Another very important setting, power management mode, make sure that it is on prefer maximum performance. These next two are really important too. Preferred refresh rate, make sure it's on highest available, and then shader cache size, make sure it's on unlimited. There's only a couple more, and then we get to our Fortnite settings. Texture filtering on, texture filtering negative LOD bias allow, texture filtering quality, make sure it's on high performance, texture filtering trilinear optimization, make sure it's on, threaded optimization, make sure it's on auto, triple buffering, we want it on off, vertical sync, just like before, G sync, V sync, vertical sync, all the same thing, make sure that is on off. Virtual reality pre-rendered frames, make sure it's on 1, virtual reality variable rate super sampling, make sure it's on off. OpenGL present mode, make sure it's on auto. Once you guys have done that, go to adjust desktop size and position. Unless you guys play stretch res, make sure it's on full screen. And if you do play stretch res, make sure it's on display scaling if you do have that option. All it does is take the scaling of your stretch res and take it off of your GPU, allowing your graphics card to be able to get the most performance it can. Then go down, make sure your monitor's on the max refresh rate it can. If you have two monitors, make sure that they're both on the maximum refresh rate. This is the last setting before we go to the Fortnite in-game settings. You're going to want to go to setup G-Sync. No, we are not setting it up. We hate it. We want to make sure that it is not clicked for enabled G-Sync. Once you've changed all of that, make sure you guys apply. You can close out of NVIDIA control panel and open your Epic Games launcher. Once you're there, go to your library and press these three dots. Go to options and make sure that you have pre-downloaded stream assets turned on and nothing else. Pre-download streamed assets is basically every skin, every asset in Fortnite, everything your game will have to render is already pre-downloaded in every update, so your game does not have to actually render it when you load in. If you have this turned off and you are fighting a guy in ranked and he has a skin that you have not yet seen in that game, your FPS will be worse because your game is rendering that skin as you fight. Once you've done that, press apply. Your game might have an update. It's getting rid of the stuff you unclicked and adding the stuff you did click. Once you've done that, go back to the three dots and go to manage. If anybody tells you to put anything in your launch options, they do not know what they are talking about. Unlike other games like Counter-Strike and games on Steam, the launch options in the Epic Games launcher do not do anything for the game. Those are for developers and modifiers of the game. There is nothing you can put in here that will help your FPS, lower your ping, anything like that. So make sure you have it unchecked, and if you had anything in here, get rid of it. Once you've done that, you can launch your game. Since we just launched our game, go over to the item shop and under support a creator, if you guys want to support me, you can type in code CODSFN into the Fortnite item shop, and anytime you guys make a purchase, a percentage will go to me. I would greatly appreciate if you guys did that. It refreshes every 2 weeks though, so if you guys are going to buy something, make sure you are using code CODSFN in the item shop. Then you can go back to your lobby. A little trick, if you guys have an Alienware PC, press the Windows key and type in Alienware. Make sure you guys do it with your game open because there are profiles per game and for your desktop. You'll see these modes: quiet, balanced, and performance. We want to put it on performance. Putting it on performance will get the most out of all of our hardware. Our graphics card, our processor, our RAM will all be used to its fullest potential. And if you're scared it's going to hurt something and you press thermal, you'll see that all of your stuff is normal. My CPU temperature is only so high because I'm recording this for you guys. Once you guys have done that, you can close out of it. I've set all of my settings to default so I can show you guys exactly what you need to change. Starting off, make sure you guys are on full screen mode. I play native. Stretch res doesn't do anything in this game but give you a smaller FOV. It may give you guys a little bit of a FPS boost, but when your FPS numbers are so high, that little boost isn't noticeable. Make sure VSync is off. Like I explained before in the NVIDIA part of this video, VSync is not good. For your frame rate limit, this is where it gets a little tricky. If you have a 60 Hz monitor, set it to 120 FPS cap. If you have a 165 Hz monitor, set it to 180. And if you have 240, set it to 240. If you're on anything other than 240, you want to set it to 1 higher than your monitor's refresh rate, making sure that there's a gap between the actual FPS that you're seeing and the FPS that you're getting. It'll make it less likely for stutters to happen and for screen tearing. Whatever you do, do not set it to unlimited. That is giving you more stutters. Then for rendering mode, if you guys have a mid to good PC or an AMD processor, play it on the new performance mode. If you guys do not have an AMD processor and you're not sure if your PC is good or bad, try out both of them, the new one and the old one. Then as we scroll down, make sure motion blur is turned off, make sure user interface parallax is turned off. I'm pretty sure this is only for the lobby, but if they add something into the game that uses parallax, you want to have this turned off. Then for graphics quality, we'll make sure anti-aliasing is turned off. 3D resolution on 100%, dynamic 3D resolution off, nanite virtualized geometry, global illumination, reflection, shadows, make sure that they are all turned off. View distance I have on epic. I used to play on far, but I've noticed that they've changed how far you can see weapon spawns from. Epic makes it to where you don't have to be as close to see what actual weapon it is instead of just the color or the rarity of the gun. Textures turn on low, effects turn on low, post-processing turn on low, hardware ray tracing, make sure that it is off. Show FPS I have on, latency markers I have on just to see how much input delay I'm getting. Low latency, make sure it is on plus boost. Then we're going to want to go to the gear. You're going to want to scroll to where you see replays. If you guys want the best FPS and do not use replays under any circumstances, make sure that these are all turned off. I have replays on due to me playing competitively. I want to watch VODs. I want to be able to VOD review. I want to get replay cinematics for you guys. But if you do not use any of this, make sure it is all turned off. It will help your FPS so much. Then just below that, make sure that these are on never, off, and off. This will help your FPS the most. Most people don't even know these settings are here. And after you guys have changed all of those settings, you can apply and restart your game, restart your PC, whatever you guys have been delaying to do. And once you open your game again, you will have the most FPS that your PC can attain. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe and comment how much this helped you guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And if you guys want more videos just like this, I promise uploads are coming more frequently now. But until next time, see you guys later.